let's get the unpleasantries out of the way first. You had a few words with the officials before the second intermission. What was that about?
I just told them I like their uniforms.
Tonight on Colonial Sports Center, we're talking a little fashion, and how about the fashion in which the men's basketball team has been playing? They were looking to lock up the Northeast Conference title. The women looking to do the same feat, and they had senior night this past Saturday, and the Lady Colonials hockey team was in action on Friday and Saturday.
I'm Coach Nate Handerhan, and you're watching Colonial Sports Center.
Coach Nate's ready. Are you? It's Colonial Sports Center, and it's next.
They think we're going away. They have no idea the amount of toughness in this room. You can't control what happens to you, gentlemen. You can control 100% how you respond. People are going to remember this team. So if you think for 1 minute we're going away, you're sadly mistaken. And it'll take every ounce of energy we have.
Your very best not to scream.
Take control. Do what you say you're gonna do. How could you destroy me like you do?
Welcome back in for another edition of Colonial Sports Center. As always, I'm Ed Albert. He is one, Christopher A. Baginski. And Chris, this week we have so much action that we've decided to expand to a full hour because of the amount of highlights.
Full hour? That's almost an hour and a half.
No, an hour, like 60
Yeah, I said
minutes.
it's almost an hour and a half, though.
Well,
but,
speaking of almost, Chris, how about those highlights?
yes, in fact, tonight, Ed, we have almost too many highlights. Almost. The men's and women's basketball teams each played a doubleheader at the Soul Center on both Thursday and Saturday, with huge implications towards NEC tournament seeding. Meanwhile, at the Island Sports Center, the women's ice hockey team had a pair of games against conference rival Niagara as they try and pick up any points in the standings they can get prior to the CHA tournament. Stay tuned because there wasn't a single bad one in all 6 games. But first, the Colonial update.
The men's lacrosse team is no stranger to the men from Happy Valley. A little over a year ago, the Colonials beat the Nittany Lions in a snowbound double overtime thriller at the Joe Walton Stadium by a score of 12-11. This year, the Colonials found themselves against the same opponent, this time in State College, and with a quite similar result. The Colonials won the game 24-17, with 12 of the Colonials' goals coming in the first period. The Nittany Lions outshot the Colonials by an astounding 75-40 mark, but it was a record-setting performance by senior netminder Sal Barcia that arguably was the biggest part of the Robert Morris victory. His 25 saves is the most in a single game for a Colonial goaltender in the program's history. The next game for the Colonials is Friday night against Manhattan, while their home opener is against Ohio State on Tuesday, March 9th.
The women's lacrosse team also was on the road against a big school when they traveled to Annapolis to take on Navy. But the result was far less desirable for the Colonial faithful. Navy got out to a 5-0 lead and never looked back, winning the game 14-4. Senior goalkeeper Erica Webb had 9 saves in the loss, but the Colonials will have a chance to recover as they face Bucknell this Saturday at 1 p.m. at Joe Walton Stadium.
Both of the track and field teams were in action at the NEC Indoor Championship to close out the indoor track and field season. The women finished in 6th place, with several members of the team taking first in their respective events. Erica Schmidt took first place in the pole vault event, while Gabriella Reinhardt took first place in the weight throw. Taylor Crawford also earned a season best time of 8.99 seconds in the hurdles, finishing 5th. Meanwhile, the men placed 8th in their competition with a strong showing in the pole vault, with Chris Spartaro, Jared George, and Anthony Truzo earning 1st, 3rd, and 5th places respectively. DeWitt Hudson took the bronze in the 60-meter hurdles with a time of 8.42 seconds. Schmidt and Reinhardt will head to the ECAC Championships for the women's team due to their victories, while Spartaro will go to the 2010 I4AC Championship for his. Both events are in Boston the weekend of March the 6th.
Now, for some, February is a fine month of the year, containing such days as Valentine's Day and the date of birth of one Colonial Sports Center anchor who is currently on your screen. However, if you play on either of our tennis teams here on campus, you may want to forget February. The men's team dropped 3 against Fort Wayne, Illinois, Chicago, and James Madison, all by a score of 0-7. The women haven't fared much better as they just dropped 4 against the New Jersey Institute of Technology, Dayton, Lipscomb, and Cleveland State by scores of 2-5, 1-6, and 0-7 twice. But spring is coming up, so as usual with the warmer weather, there's reason for all of us to be optimistic.
And now, Chris, we take a look at what the men's hockey team did last weekend. The team spent the weekend in Alabama taking on the UAH Chargers. On Friday night, the Colonials fell 4-3 as the Chargers rallied for 3 unanswered goals in the third period.
That's true, Ed, but on Saturday night, the Colonials rebounded as they scored early for the second straight night, and this time were able to hold on to the lead. They won the game 4-2, and sophomore goaltender Brooks Ostergaard made 27 saves in the winning effort.
Every week, the CHA recognizes the most outstanding rookie that played the past week. Stephon Salaturo earned his second honor of the season for his outstanding play against Alabama Huntsville. Salaturo tallied a goal and an assist against the Chargers and has 12 points for the year, earning 8 points in the past 9 games. Now here's Heidi Hickel with a report on a special event. Heidi?
Thanks, guys. Breast cancer is a growing epidemic that affects 1 out of every 13 people across America. Not only does it affect females, but it also affects men. The Zeta Tau Alpha sorority here at Robert Morris's campus has chosen to do something to raise awareness on this subject. Today we have Miranda with us, and she's here on behalf of the Zeta Tau Alpha sorority, and she's here to tell us a little bit about the Think Pink theme that they had sponsoring a basketball game last week. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was a basketball game. I think it was Thursday last week that we had it.
What did you guys do for this?
We had a bake sale, and we also did raffle baskets trying to raise awareness. We also passed out pink ribbons, so the whole crowd was kind of pinked out.
Oh, that's very nice. Did the crowd also wear pink shirts?
We tried to advertise that they did. They all didn't, but I think we had a pretty good showing of it, yeah.
Am I correct when I say you got some money from the basketball game that goes to a fund of some sort?
Yeah, $1 from every ticket that they sold went to Zeta Tau Alpha's Breast Cancer Awareness and Education Fund.
Is that a big thing with the Zeta Tau Alpha sorority?
Yeah, it's our philanthropy. Across the nation, Zetas everywhere have been raising awareness and money for education.
Have other campuses sponsored pink out games or pink out themes, or do you know?
I think so. I think that's where we got the idea, but I think we are probably one of the leaders in it.
Are you guys planning on doing this again in the future?
Oh, definitely. Probably in the fall again with football like we did last fall.
I'd like to thank my guests for being here today, and now back to you guys at the desk.
Okay, thank you, Heidi. Now, Ed, do you have your shaking stick with you?
I always do, Chris. It's right under the desk where I can pull it out if need be.
It will do you no good this week, sir, because we literally have more highlights than you can shake a stick at.
Well, there's always next week, folks. Stay tuned.
So gay.
Really?
Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles.
Everybody bring it in.
I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out.
How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork?
I help keep kids in school.
Good.
And that's the name of the game.
My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
With the university going through some budget cuts and some fiscal responsibility, we here at CSC have been asked to tighten up our belts as well.
And the Colonials are taking on Monmouth next Saturday afternoon. And in other football news, former running back Devin Wilson of the Colonials has decided to...
But I think we're going to be all right.
busy offseason getting himself elected to a local football Hall of Fame. But now the Robert Morris coach is focused on the Colonials' regular season as they kick off a 2006 campaign.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours? 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice? 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Going into Thursday night's game against the Sacred Heart Pioneers, the Lady Colonials were looking to make a little history. With a victory, the team will lock up their 3rd Northeast Conference championship in 4 years and the top seed in the NEC tournament for the first time in team history. Could the ladies write their names in the RMU history books? We head to the Soul Center to see. All right, Chris, so we get this basketball bonanza underway with the ladies taking on Sacred Heart, and they start off right away as Angela Pace gets it to Destiny Harrison, who drives the lane for 2 points. And now Angela Pace going to take over a little bit herself, steals that ball there, goes down 2 more points, and then a little deja vu, only this time a nice little showstopper nominee graphic comes in. Angela Pace, a great game from her as she gets 2 more points there. And now, she had 4 steals on the game. Now Vega Jimeno to Monica Jones, and Monica Jones here is going to give the ball right back to Jimeno, and Jimeno, well, she knows what to do with that ball, Chris.
Absolutely.
And now Sacred Heart tries to get into the action, but they kick it out here to the top of the arc, and they're going to miss the 3-pointer. They were only 23.8% from the 3-point line on the game. And now Jasmine Tate over to Monica Jones, and Mary Desroger finishes off that play. She had 13 points, and we head to the second half. Now Christine Silaraya is going to take this ball here from Angela Pace, and watch the little pick from Pace. Silaraya does the rest, and it's a showstoppers nominee. Now Vega Jimeno again steals this ball away. She had 3, up to Angela Pace, and Silaraya again, all effort right there, lays out, gets the 2 points and the foul, and she would go to the line. She was 3 for 6 at the line for the night, and she makes that one there. Now another showstopper nominee. This time it's Monica Jones handing it off to Pace, and Angela Pace, an individual effort, Chris.
Tons of nominees in this one, Ed.
Well, they were so good, and now you see another rebound, and then Desroger picks up the miss, and over to Monica Jones. She would get the foul, but miss the free throw. Angela Pace again, haven't called her name enough. She's going to get that ball, go down the court. She led the team with 16 points, and there's 2 more right there. And then to finish this game off, Christine Silaraya is going to get in the way of this pass, break it up. It gets to Vega Jimeno, who's right in the right position. Over to Bianca Hooten, gets 2 points there, and that's how the Colonials would finish up. You take a look at the scoreboard. Final score, 71-43 for your Colonials. Look at that field goal percentage for the Colonials, Chris, over half.
Yeah, look at the field goal percentage for the Pioneers, well under a quarter.
And Angela Pace, enough cannot be said.
Now, while the women's basketball team was able to clinch the NEC regular season crown earlier that day, last Thursday provided an opportunity for the men's team to inch closer to the same goal. Much like the women's team, they would be entertaining the Sacred Heart Pioneers. The Pioneers didn't see it as entertainment. Let's go back to the top of the hill and find out why.
Going to be doing a lot of walking tonight, Chris, back and forth between the Soul Center.
The Soul Center is, of course, as I mentioned, the top of a pretty steep hill, so it is quite a hoof to get there. Now you're going to see in the first half, Rob Robinson's going to post up, turn around, shot off the glass, and good. Now, he'll try again, and he'll miss, but he will pick up the foul. So he'll go to the free throw line and will miss the first shot. But his second attempt more successful. So congrats, Pioneers. You robbed Rob of a point. Now on the other side of the floor, the Pioneers kick it out to Jarrell Thomas for his sole field goal of the night. And now Karan Abraham, with the steal, almost loses it, but gives the honors to Mezi Nwigwe. Now Ryan Litke misses from past the arc, and Robinson rebounds, and the fast break begins, and the scoring resumes for Mr. Robinson and his Quango. That's your obscure Blur reference of the night. Green to Wallace, can't find a good shot. Nwigwe, however, does. Now Velton Jones picks up the ball from the ground, gets it to Mezi, and Mezi picks up a great assist thanks to Russell Johnson. Great dunk there,
Any relation to Gus Johnson?
We'll have to find out later. Now Corey Hassan gets the 3 for the Pioneers. And you see yet another turnover. Gary Wallace will go to Josiah Whitehead. Whitehead 4 for 5 of the night and a solid 10 points. And you just saw 3 of those points right there. Now on to the second half. A Showstoppers nominee, Jones to Abraham, Frosch to Frosch, 3 points to the scoring column. Now in an inbounds play, Dallas Green will decide on Gary Wallace. He'll wait. Abraham will flash to the corner and sink the 3 ball.
Guys like lightning.
If you would like to see another Karan Abraham 3-pointer, please stay on the line.
Will do.
Now Mezzi will go to Velton Jones. And Jones, he'll get by with a little help from his good friend, Rob Robinson. And we feel that that is a good point to end this highlight on as we take a look at some of the key statistics. 64-39, only the 3rd time in school history the Colonials have lessened their opponents to below 40 points. And we're going to do a little switch now, as Rob Robinson was also perfect from the field, as we will toss it to Brooksy, who has a little something on the women's hockey team.
Hey, Brooksy.
Thanks, Chris. The Colonial women's hockey team was back on home ice for the first time in 2 weeks, hosting the Purple Eagles of Niagara University. The Colonials were looking for their first win against Niagara on the campaign and just their 2nd in the conference thus far. So let's take a look at the moving pictures that we like to call highlights here at CSC. On to the friendly confines of the Clearview Arena we go, and we start with the opening face-off as always. But we're going to keep it running because it would not take long for Niagara to get on the board. Just 10 seconds in to be exact. Josie Kleber dumps the puck in, takes a strange bounce. Danica Butterfield's out of position, and Frances McPhail has a gift. Pokes it into the awning cage, 1-0 Purple Eagles. A couple minutes later, Niagara pressing again. Mary McKinnon with the backhander in tight, Butterfield with the stop. And now here come the Colonials. It's a Showstoppers nominee. Maria Stoll with the dipsy doodle dangle cannot beat Jenny Bauer. 1-0 Niagara after 1. To the second we go. Here's another Showstoppers nominee. Kelsey Thomas streaking in, gets off the snapshot. Another stop by Bauer. And Sarah O'Malley takes a tumble on the play. But the only thing O'Malley would be doing on this play is stealing, deking, and scoring. Wrists one past Bauer, her 16th of the year, ties it up at 1 apiece, and just 2 minutes later, it's going to be Kobina Delaney from behind the net, throws it out in front, and Jennifer Kendrett, the pride of Winnipeg, pokes it home. Colonials take a 2-1 lead, her 8th on the season. So to the 3rd period we go. Sarah O'Malley again with the wrister from the top of the circle, stand-up save from Bauer, and then here comes Niagara. Mary McKinnon sends it out to Kathleen Bortuzzo at the point with the wrister, beats Butterfield. We're tied up at 2, and then just over 2 minutes later on the power play, a nice passing play. It's going to be McPhail behind the net to Jenna Hendricks, in front for Erica Owasarzak, who throws it past Butterfield. 3-2 Niagara, that's your game winner. Purple Eagles will take game 1. We'll have a look at the second game on the weekend later on. 3-2 your final. But first, let's go to Chelsea Fry. What do you have, Chelsea?
After the game on Friday, we spoke to head coach Nate Handerhan, who seemed confident that his team would return the next night for a win.
There's lots of hockey game left for us to come back, and we did. And we showed some resiliency and came back and grasped a lead heading into the 3rd period. And it doesn't really change your strategy towards the game. It just, you gotta resist the temptation to get down on yourself because something like that happens so early.
Late in the game, the Colonials found themselves with a chance to even the score. With this being such an important game, Coach Handerhan decided to use his timeout.
Looking at kind of how our shifts had gone, I felt like calling a timeout early would give us enough time to get the right people rested and the right people on the ice at the time. Kind of anticipated that we might put some pressure on them and that they may call a timeout as well, so you may get 2 timeouts to rest some people.
The timeout proved to be unsuccessful, as the Purple Eagles were able to pull away.
You look at the plays that were made on those goals. We gave up 4 shots in the 3rd period. They scored twice. So that we did a decent job of defending. It's the critical situations that we need to be more thorough and more desperate in. Hockey's a fast-paced game, and good things and bad things happen in a moment, and you got to be able to, to respond.
But would they respond against Niagara the next night? You'll have to wait until after the break to find out. More Colonial Sports Center next.
sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblums, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you. Bobby? Susie? Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
Yes, ready, ready. Go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Now, let's take a look at Saturday evening when the women's basketball team took on the Quinnipiac Bobcats. The team had already clinched the #1 seed in the NEC tournament 2 nights prior. But with a win over the Bobcats, the Colonials would have clinched their 4th 20-win season in the past 5 years. But would that be the case? Good question, and the Sewell Center holds the answers.
Chris, I thought the saying was, we've got questions, you've got answers, not Sewell Center.
Not here at Colonial Sports Center.
Oh, okay.
Now, it's Think Pink, hence the jerseys, and it's also senior night, hence the roses. Now, let's start off in the first half. After the tip, we're going to see Mary DeRoger go to a driving Jimeno for 2. She does that all day long. Now, the next one is a Showstoppers nominee, and it looks like it's an air ball, but the ball takes a carom and then finds DeRoger, who fixes the broken play. Now, it's a wide-open Kristen Silaraya for 3. And the Colonials were strong defensively as well, as Courtney Kaminsky has nowhere to go, somehow passes it to Lisa Lieback, who gets nothing but net, literally. Now, this next play, Destiny Harrison driving and scoring. And now Monica Jones is going to find Harrison once more. She will score. And she was also perfect from the free throw line for a total of 7 points. Now, if you leave Mary DeRoger open, that's going to happen. That's just to be expected. But remember those Destiny Harrison free throws I spoke of earlier? Yeah, I'm sorry for ruining the drama, but she's going to get that one, and I'll just spoil it for you now. She's going to get that one, too. Sorry. I will try to be more careful in the future. Second half, Angela Pace doesn't like what she finds inside. Luckily, Monica Jones does, and she gets 2 points out of it. And she is equally as pleased on that play. Now Pace is going to go inside to Jimeno. Her shot, bit indecisive that ball, but it settles in for 2. Now, nominee for Never Quit. DeRoger's shot doesn't go, but Pace fights for the rebound and gets the bucket. Now Gaelite kicks it out to Jones, who sinks the runner. And now Bianca Hooten going to juggle the ball, but she's able to keep it and finds a wide open Monica Jones for the tray. Now here, Ed, is the nail in the Bobcats' coffin as they turn it over to Angela Pace, which she has plenty of.
That was clever.
Oh, thank you, Ed. I do try. I do try. The final score in this one, 61-57. The Colonials able to win despite Quinnipiac shooting 50% from the field, a far less impressive 31.3 for the Colonials.
Again, though, Chris, Angela Pace, look at that, 40 minutes.
And Courtney Kaminsky, meanwhile, played 36. She was 7 for 10 from the line. Once again, back over to women's hockey, back over to Brooks Bratton.
Thanks once again. Chris, game 1 on the ice against the Niagara University. Purple Eagles was a 3-2 loss for the women Colonials, with their power play going 0 for 7 on the night. The very next evening, the two squads were back at it, and this time the tide would turn for the ladies. As we take a look at the highlights from Saturday night, hi-ho the Dario, back to the Clearview Arena we would go. Game 2 on the weekend between the two clubs, and just like that, we're underway. First period, Niagara strikes first. Allison Malty, she's at the point. And look at the tip from Jacqueline Spring. Gets her stick on it. Beautiful redirection behind Danica Butterfield. 1-0 Purple Eagles. Later on in the first, Josie Kleber, the defenseman for Niagara, with the slapper from the point. There's a juicy rebound. And Kathleen Bortuzzo with the backhander up under the bar. Makes no mistake, Niagara's up 2-0. Still in the first now. Colonials are going to be on the rush, and Adam Stuntz takes down Carissa Ketcher, and that's interference, says one of my officiating brothers. Power play for RMU. It's a Showstoppers nominee. Whitney Pappas to San Jose Sharks. Doug Jocelyn's sister Jamie with the one-timer beats Jenny Bauer. Colonials are on the board 2-1 after one. On to the second. Brianna Delaney blocks the shot from the point, and we're off to the races. Gets off the snapshot from in tight, can't beat Bauer. And now a battle for the biscuit along the boards. Couple of players for each side. Kelsey Thomas is going to be the breadwinner. Comes up with it in over the line with the wicked wrister over the glove. Her fifth on the campaign. We are tied up at 2. So to the third period we would go. And just 5 minutes in, a nice breakout from the Colonials. And it's Thomas again. In over the line. Throws it in front for Carissa Ketcher, who redirects it. Top shelf where mama hides the cookies. 3-2 Colonials. Some rough stuff now. Jordan Riley takes an elbow from Josie Kleber. That is against the rules. 2 for checking is assessed to Kleber, and Riley would be okay. She'd stay in there. She's a hockey player. One last chance for Niagara now. Time ticking down. Jenna Hendricks with the wrister. No trouble for Butterfield. She had 23 stops on the evening. The Colonials take game 2 of the series. 3-2 is the final. And now once again back to Chelsea Fry. Chelsea?
Theme this morning was we need to be a better team. You know, yesterday's effort was exactly that. We gave a very good effort individually. We didn't play together as a team quite as much as we needed to, and we didn't compete the way that you need to. There's a big difference between working hard and competing, and I thought tonight we competed our butts off. We did it together.
With a little over 5 minutes left in the third period, Carissa Ketcher netted her first goal of the season and possibly the most important one.
I thought we definitely needed that win, and usually we don't come out in the third period, but I mean we worked hard, and I thought that we deserved that goal.
To have secondary scoring come through is pretty good, and it's what we need coming down the stretch.
The late period goal gave the Colonials a much needed confidence boost, especially for goaltender Danica Butterfield.
Kind of a mental game with us and an ordeal of mental strength, but we overcame that tonight, and that's so important because we may face those challenges coming up here in the next 2 weeks, and to prove to each other and to prove to the fans that we can definitely win in the third period and we can hold on to those leads is a big deal for us tonight. So.
Told the girls this morning we've got a lot of good soldiers, but our Army is weak. We need to have a good Army tonight, and we certainly came out and we did that.
An Army, by definition, is a body of persons trained and armed for war, which is exactly what the Lady Colonials hope to be for the rest of the season. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Chelsea Fry. Now let's send it back over to Brooks.
Thank you, Chelsea. It was a jam-packed weekend of